All right, welcome to the In the Mind of Hayes segment. This week it's really politic heavy, and I've warned you guys before that we are going to be getting into more and more politics leading up to this election. Let me just say before we do anything, vote, people, vote. It's important that you guys show up. If you're doing remote voting or by absentee ballot, make sure you do that. For the people who showed up so far to do their early voting, hats off to you guys. Make sure you guys go out and vote. This is one of the more important elections that we've had. This is like one of those elections of a generation. We'll never have another one quite like this, or if we do, we live in dark and crazy ass times, or maybe as dark as my mind. So make sure you guys going out and voting. And things are getting funny with voting. Like, I don't know if you guys like. There was a post office, and I forget the city off the top of my head right now, forgive me, that the post office burned down. Now they're trying to figure out if there were any absentee ballots there. So make sure you guys are doing everything you can. If you do have an absentee ballot, you can research it online and make sure that it was received and in good standing. Make sure you're doing that, because if it's not, you may have to, I don't know if you can request another one. I don't know how that one works, if it disappears or whatever, or gets damaged or it's not acceptable. But if you don't see that it's been counted, make sure you show up in person and get that vote done. I can't stress that enough. But let's get into the idiots for this week. No, they're not. They're not really idiots. The first one that I want to talk about is Kristie Alley, who came under fire for having a tweet that said that she's going to be voting for Trump because Trump is not a politician. And while the social media backlash to this was kind of understandably over the top, she got hit with some stuff. Like, some people were very, they responded in ways that were funny while also letting her know how silly she was for that comment. But there were also some people who did get nasty about it or whatever. But let's focus on this. When Trump was first running, there were a lot of people who, because he wasn't a politician, who shared that same sentiment. But at this point now, I believe that we are well past whether he's a politician or not. Guess what? He's the president. He's a fucking politician. If you look at how he's maneuvered, he is now a politician. If that was your thing when he first started running, that's over with. That's gone. That you can no longer say that. And not only, where it becomes dangerous for some people, or where some people take issue with it, is not just the fact, is he a politician or not, but it's some of the stuff that he spews out his mouth and the way that he carries himself and everything going on. Like, it's what he elicits in people in the division. If you label him a politician or not, the divisiveness that he causes is problematic, even in his own party. There was a Republican to speak out on Donald Trump recently. Again, I'm at a loss for the name right now because that wasn't what I was prepared to talk about in this segment, but Donald Trump is a divisive person. I think even Trump supporters can realize how divisive he is among the general population. And if they can't, they can't. But so the thing with people saying the whole he's not a politician thing, and we Kristie Alley said it, but like I said, this was something that people really did focus on and believe in, why they used a reason for his support when he initially ran. So I think that we need to highlight that, focus on that as well, that he is a politician. I don't like hearing that anymore. But let's get into the thing that I think my audience may be ready to talk about, or I know has been talking about since it happened. And now this news came down, I think it was just Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was more so Wednesday, maybe even late Tuesday night. And that is Ice Cube working with Trump on the Platinum Plan. And the immediate backlash that came out at the moment that this was announced. He was selling out. He got pulled in, everything like that. And here's where we're going to separate. This is going to be one of those topics that I talk about where I'm separating my thoughts from the facts. I want to make sure, because I have a personal conspiracy theory on this that I'm going to share here, but I want to focus on the facts first. So Ice Cube has come out since then. On Friday, he had an interview with Chris Cuomo in which he said that
our next guest is Ice Cube. If you know anything about him, and you probably do, you know he started his career rapping in defiance about police presence and the realities of inner city life. And he got political with his songs as well recently during the Trump administration, most recently in 2018.
I didn't run to go work with any campaign. Both campaigns contacted me. Both campaigns wanted to talk to me about the contract with Black America. One campaign said, we love what you have, but let's really dig into it after the election. And one campaign said, we love what you have. Do you mind talking to us about it? And that's what I did. Well, I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever is willing to work with me. So the Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power, and I'm going to speak to them about our problems specifically. I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves. And that's what I'm going to talk to anybody who's in power with that. So if anybody got a problem with that, it seems like a personal problem.
Both sides reached out to him. Biden's side said, wait till after the election. Trump's people said, no, come out now. Let's talk about it. Ice Cube said in that same interview he's willing to work with both sides, that his focus is on Black Americans, the descendant of slaves, not just minorities. And he also had a 12-part plan before. He said that some of the stuff that he had in the conversation that Trump is going to include in this platinum plan, which is focused on policing, housing, schools who aren't getting the resources they were in Black communities. Now, this platinum plan, to my knowledge, wasn't originally focused on just the Black community. Now, Trump has apparently wants to rework it. That's part of why Ice Cube came in it. And so those are kind of the facts of it. That's the platinum plan. That's what Ice Cube has said about it, of what his intention was for meeting with Trump. And I'm sure both sides have reached out to him. And if he's saying that he's not on Trump's side, he said it in this interview. He doesn't trust neither side because politicians lie. This is something that you're going to keep hearing over the course of this from a lot. I feel like a lot of Black celebrities kind of save face. And I'm not saying that's what Ice Cube is doing. I'm just giving my opinion on something. I think that they are using that, well, we don't trust any politicians. We had Diddy, who's come out and said that he's going to start his own political party, which, if you trust Diddy with anything with politics, you're a fucking idiot, in my opinion. That's one of the things I am going to give a harsh opinion for. Diddy has mismanaged, and this is, RBR Day said this, mismanaged so many artists. She said every artist, but so many artists over the course of it. And him and Donald Trump reportedly may be friends, so there's some concern there with me with Diddy, but I didn't put it on the topic list because I really don't have much to say outside of that. If you're trusting Diddy to lead and start a political party, and no, just for me, it's a no, dog. But to focus on this Ice Cube thing, he said that he doesn't trust either side, which I understand. Politicians do say stuff, especially, we talked about it in the live stream we did after the vice presidential debate with Ron DeMary, how politicians do, every politician, I don't care what side of the coin you're on, every politician says certain things or makes it seem like certain things will be delivered for sure, like there's not a Supreme Court, like there's not a Congress that things have to go through. So they make these promises that then ultimately may not happen, and then they point to, well, that's the way politics works. So keep in mind, like, that's every politician. So I'm not trying to target any one person with that, but politicians do lie. And Ice Cube was smart to say that. Now, here's where my opinion and a brief conspiracy theory comes out with this. So my opinion before the conspiracy theory is that, what does it look like for Trump, who refused to denounce white supremacy, to then partner with the man who was in a group that at one point was completely anti-establishment and had a song called "Fuck the Police"? Just what does that do to make it look like he is attempting to be better? I think Trump is so disconnected with what the Black community actually needs, or even, I've said it before, he's a classist. So even poor people in general, what they need, that it's ridiculous. And I don't think that that's going to come in the next 4 years if he is reelected. I don't care if he partners with Ice Cube, like every Black person in America. I almost said Tupac Shakur, but that was just me being dramatic. But seriously, what Trump is disconnected, in my opinion, from those communities completely. He has no idea. I don't even know if he cares to understand the whole racism aspect, and he does cater to white supremacists, all that shit. That is my opinion on it. So for him to get somebody in, we saw how he rode Kanye and helped use Kanye to a certain degree, and now to do it with Ice Cube as well, a elder statesman in this community, in the culture, and what they mean to people. Hell, my son Xavier's middle name is O'Shea. Keep that in fucking mind. After Ice Cube. So I get it. That's what we know, what Ice Cube has meant to us as black people. Here's where my conspiracy theory comes in at. And you may think that Hayes is putting on his tinfoil hat, and maybe I am. But something that's kind of missed in all this. Not too long ago, Ice Cube was part of a team that tried to purchase a bunch of sports television networks. That was reportedly blocked. It goes back to kind of the thing that they used with Bill Cosby, him trying to buy, I believe it was NBC at one time. But let's again, let me not go down the complete rabbit hole of conspiracy theories. But Ice Cube was trying to buy, or a part of a group that was trying to buy a bunch of I think they were owned one time by the owner of the Yankees. I'm not sure what that network of sports channels is called, but they were trying to buy pieces of that to create their own network. That didn't happen. It was blocked to a certain degree. It's been really quiet for like the past year or more since that's happened. And now you decide to work possibly with the Trump administration. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm not wanting to shy away from admitting that I may have a tinfoil hat on, but sometimes guess what? We need to have fucking tinfoil hats on to stay alert and to put the pieces together of shit. So again, I'm not saying that that's for sure what's happening. Again, I want to separate what I'm saying is fact and what is my opinion and a conspiracy theory. I'm separating 3 times where I usually separated two times for you guys. But I truly, in my heart, do believe that there's something there with that. That's what I am choosing to believe. That is what I believe in my heart. That was one of the first things that came up to my mind when that came up, is that Ice Cube and his Big Three, I don't know if it's called the Big Three Network, were trying to purchase stations, TV channels, to have kind of a black-owned television network. It was blocked for whatever reason, and then now, all of a sudden, again, I know it was a year between, but now you're deciding to work with the Trump administration. I wonder what Ice Cube could benefit, or how he can benefit from partnering with the Trump administration. I don't make it up, people. Do your own research and see. If you think that I'm just pulling your leg or and let me know how you feel. Again, I want you guys to reach out to me. Let me know how you feel about this. If you think I'm way off base, that's fine. I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong for having to share my opinion or being against my opinion, but that's what my mind went to with this. And I would not be surprised if a year or two down the road, year and a half or whatever, once the world starts opening back up, Big Three may be back up and running, whatever's going on, maybe more sports are back on, may have a vaccine for coronavirus, things are going away. And then if this is announced, again, to leave some space between now and the controversy, I'll be back to talk about it then too. I'll be back. And I'm not just saying that to be an ulterior media person, but that's just my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think about it. I would love to hear you guys' opinion on this, truly. But that's it for this segment of The Awakened Soul. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get into another break. You're going to hear an ad from a podcast and some music. When we come back, we are going to get into the main topic discussion for this week's episode. I'll see you guys there.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.